So here's the deal. Those of you who have been following me, those of you who are in my classes, you guys already know this, but maybe you need the reminder, and that's why you're here. For those of you who have never heard this information, I'm going to give this to you as gently as I can, but I didn't make the rules on the planet. I didn't make the universal laws, but we all have to live by universal law. Okay, so here's the deal. If things are showing up in your life that you don't like, and you're like, I don't like it, I can't stand it, it's not fair. It is fair. And if you don't like it, you have to shift something within you. Because life is simply a mirror, meaning whatever's showing up in your life, right, in your environment. It can be as simple as something goes on with your car, you get into a fight with someone, you stub your toe, your electronics start blowing up. You can't just simply blame it on bad luck, okay? It is because of something that's going on within you. Our outer worlds are simply a reflection of what's going on inside of us. Now, I'm not telling you that it's your fault individually, personally, that, we've got all of this starvation on the planet and lack on the planet. I'm not saying that you did that personally, so don't get jumpy about this. But personally, in your life, like your life, your environment, your income, your health, that is a personal reflection. That is the inner part of you being projected outwardly onto the screen of time and space. Okay? That's just the way universal law works. When things show up that we don't like, when things happen and we don't like them, it's usually something that gets confusing because there's a thing called cause and effect, right? Karma. Some people call it karma. Some people call it cause and effect. And the problem with it is sometimes there's time between the cause and the actual effect. It's not like, well, here's a good example. You know how like you're out, you get home and the dog is taking a crap on the carpet, and somehow you think hours later that you can correct the dog and the dog's going to learn the lesson. The dog's like, that was hours ago. I completely forgot about that. Because you see, animals are fully in the moment. So once they've done something, they don't know what you're punishing them for. Karma kind of works the same way. Cause and effect, it kind of works the same way. And it's unfortunate because we don't always understand what caused the things that are taking place in our lives, because there's this period of time between what we did, what we were thinking, we set an intention out, right? We reacted to, there's time, and then boom, something happens and we're like, I don't know what happened. Well, it may not be what you did in the last half hour. It may not be something you did in the last day. It may have been something you did 6 months ago, 6 weeks ago. That's just the way that works, okay? So what do you do about it? You start to get conscious. You start to pay attention to what you're thinking and what you're putting out there. And you really start to like notate it. Journaling is one of my favorite tools for staying conscious, for knowing what I'm thinking and how I'm feeling and what's been going on and what I'm wishing and what I'm worried about. And right? It's a great way to track it. And you have to be able to do that so that when things happen, I told you guys last week, or I don't even know, time has been really wonky for me, a couple weeks ago when I got my tooth abscess, that while it wasn't something that I was doing or thinking right then when my mouth blew up, it was something that had been building. There was an energy building, right? And it did surround me wanting to expand. And I said to God, the universe, I'm like, whatever it takes to get my attention, what do I need to do to expand? Well, apparently I didn't get the message. And then my mouth blew up. So there's things like that happen too. We ask for something. One of the worst things you guys can pray for is patience. Do you know that? Say yes in the comments. Have you learned that lesson yet? Don't you ever ask for, pray for, even in passing, patience. I did that once, and I had an entire year of lessons in patience. And while it did make me grow, I will never ask for those lessons again. They were horrible, like horrible. Things happened that I would never have imagined were going to happen. And it took me several months to figure out it was because I had asked for patience. So don't ask for patience. You know, I don't know how many times we're screaming at our dang kids and we're like, God, give me patience. Or we're in traffic and we're like, God, give me, and the universe always says yes and goes, you betcha. I'm going to give you lessons in patience. So you have to be really careful. But this is the part that I really want you to take in and absorb. There is power in the fact that if everything in your life is just a reflection of you, your thoughts, what's going on inside of you, you also have power to change it, right? You have power to adjust, okay? So if you don't like what's happening and you're like, I need to pray, I need God to save me, save yourself. If you're living in some hellish conditions, it's because of something that you've been doing that is out of alignment and you need to get it into alignment. And understand this, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm trying to educate you. I want to empower you, but you cannot be empowered if you think everyone out there is out to get you. You know, if you're sitting there going, it's that, and it's that, and it's that, and it's them, and you've got a whole laundry list of who to blame, you need to turn your little fingers around and point it at yourself. You have the power to either create your reality the way you want or to create destruction in your reality and create lessons. That's how that goes. So if you don't like how things are happening and you really are just like, and I'm not telling you that all things in life, so let me say that again, because I don't want a bunch of crappy emails. I'm not saying that everything that goes on the planet is your responsibility, but what shows up in your personal reality, your four walls, your relationships, your body, your car, your job, that's your responsibility, right? The rest of it, like that's mass consciousness creating that crap. You don't like what's going on out there in the global scene and in the nation, that's mass consciousness. That's everybody's crap put together, and this is what it created. So guess what? The quicker you clean up your stuff here, the quicker you're going to see it change out there. Truly, that is how that works. We all need to wake up, and we all need to bind together, and we all need to start changing things together, unified and in harmony. My downfall is the wrong relationship. Here's an interesting thought, Michael. And I had to come to this in a recent relationship I ended. There are no wrong relationships. There is only an unequal relationship. Do you understand what I mean by that? Every relationship has the potential to teach us something, to make us grow. We grow faster when we are in relationship. Because when we're in a relationship, it's not just us, right? The mirror gets amplified. It gets put into hyper magnification mode when you're in a relationship. So no relationships per se are bad, but they're not all equal. So you can have a partner that comes in and it's a fun little dance, and then it's not a fun little dance. It becomes like a nightmare. But in that space where it's a nightmare, you actually have some level of responsibility for how it got there. You're not responsible for how the other person behaves, right? You're not. But they're there to teach you a lesson. They're there to help your soul grow and expand and evolve. You're there for them. And sometimes we have relationships where there's the potential for the other person to heal, to grow, but they're so stuck on their old story, they're not willing to let it go, and they can't step it up and grow. And so they stay down in their little story, in their victim place, or their destructor mode, and you either join them in that place and become really unhealthy with them, or you recognize it, learn the lesson, have discernment, lovingly say goodbye. So there are no wrong relationships. I'm telling you guys, no matter how unhealthy, how you think it was so bad, it was such a big mistake. There's no mistakes, y'all. There's none. Your soul, your heart, your higher wisdom knows, right? There's always something to learn or something to teach. So I hope that helps. And I hope that's way more powerful than thinking, somehow you were a victim and it's the other person's fault, that person you were in a relationship, it's that job's fault, it's that neighbor's fault, it's the guy at the checkout's fault, it's 10 cars in front of you, it's his fault. No. If it's showing up in your reality and it's triggering a reaction in you, there is a lesson to learn. And it will continue to show up that way, different face, different name, same exact way, until you learn the lesson. And that is the work that we all have to do on this planet. We signed up for it. We're here. We might as well enjoy it. But if you want a better reality, you want it to flow better, you want it to line up differently, you want to experience life and love and abundance with money and, relationships that are smooth, do the work on you. And then those things will in fact line up. All right.